Hey everyone, let's talk about Bitcoin in retirement accounts. I am a huge fan of Bitcoin in retirement accounts, and the easiest way to buy Bitcoin in a retirement account is through one of the Bitcoin ETFs, which stands for Exchange Traded Funds. The Bitcoin ETFs, and there's about a dozen of them, they all work the same. They're basically all carbon copies of each other. But the one I prefer is the Fidelity Bitcoin ETF. The ticker symbol is FBTC. F as in fidelity, Bitcoin, or sorry, BTC as in the first three consonants of the word Bitcoin. So FBTC. But it's the same as BlackRock IBIT, which is their Bitcoin ETF. It works exactly the same way as the BlackRock Bitcoin ETF, which the ticker symbol is IBIT. But anyway, they all work the same way. But so how do you put retirement funds in in Bitcoin? Well, you do it via a Bitcoin ETF. Okay, so how do you do that? Well, the good news, and there's good news and bad news. The bad news is it's probably difficult to do with your retirement account of your current employer. So when you work for a company with a 401k or a 403b, and your retirement account is that 401k or 401(b), the organization that controls what you are allowed to invest in is that company or that organization or that nonprofit or whatever it is. They control what you are allowed to invest in. I think it's called being, the plan sponsor. Basically, the plan sponsor controls what you're allowed to invest in. Now, first I'll say I am not a legal tax retirement accountant advice. None of this is professional advice. And of all the things I talk about related to Bitcoin, I have probably the least experience with the world of retirement accounts, just because I've spent all my time learning about Bitcoin. The existing financial world of retirement accounts is a complicated world I haven't gone through. So I'll tell you my experience, but certainly consult somebody who knows more than I do for anything related to retirement accounts. So one second, I'll continue that thought. All right, so there's a variety of kind of retirement accounts. It is very easy to invest in Bitcoin with the retirement account of a former employer. So if you have retirement funds through a job that is different than the job you have now, it's very easy to invest in Bitcoin with those retirement funds. You just need to do something called a rollover IRA. An IRA is an individual retirement account. So a 401k or a 403b, I believe both of them can be rolled over into a rollover IRA. So when you stop working for a company, the 401k or the 403b just keeps going. It sort of turns into zombie mode. So it's still yours, but it's still governed by the rules of the plan sponsor. But once you are no longer working for that company, then the 401k or the 403b becomes yours, and you can put it in a rollover IRA, which allows it to be a self-directed IRA, which means you can invest it in anything you want within some reason, I suppose. So if you have a 401k or a 403b from an employer that is not where you currently work, there is a high probability you can invest it in Bitcoin. It's as simple as going into the Fidelity mobile app or on their website and clicking transfer, and then saying you want to do a rollover IRA. So what you're looking for is rollover IRA. That's ROLLOVER, and then IRA as in individual retirement account. So I believe you can roll just about anything into a rollover IRA. For example, I had an old IRA with Wells Fargo Advisors back from 2007, and I rolled that into a rollover IRA with Fidelity and converted it 100% into Bitcoin. I also had an old 401k with Baumgar Corporation, which is now Beyond Trust. I rolled that into a rollover IRA with Fidelity and converted 100% of that to Bitcoin. So people I know have had very good experiences with rollover IRAs, and most retirement accounts can be turned into a rollover IRA that allows you to invest it in anything you want, again, with the exception of your current employer. Your current employer controls your current retirement options, and the vast majority of employers do not want to take the risk of allowing people to invest in things with high up or down, higher, I should say high volatility. because they're afraid that somebody's going to buy it when it's high, sell it when it's low. The person will be upset, and then the employer does not want the liability of that. Now, nobody should be buying and selling like nobody should be trading retirement assets anyway. I mean, you should buy what's valuable and hold it for the long term. So, but so anyway, if I had any control over a retirement account, I would automatically allow employees to invest in Bitcoin. And in the case of Fidelity, Fidelity by default, and Fidelity is the plan, sort of the administrator or plan sponsor, whatever they call it, behind a huge number of retirement accounts. By default, they will allow you to put at up to 20% of your retirement in Bitcoin. Uh, the problem then, again, is Fidelity will let you do it, but your employer will probably not let you do it. So in the case of Bobgar Corporation, again, which is now Beyond Trust, um, when I was trying to get that 401k turned into Bitcoin, Fidelity said yes, but the plan sponsor said no. So they have to both say yes in order for it to be an option. And in this case, the Beyond Trust, HR investment team, the people that control those things said they were not ready to let employees invest directly in Bitcoin yet. So I had to do a rollover IRA to pull those funds out of the Beyond Trust 401k and into a rollover IRA. Now, it was still with Fidelity, so it took like 2 clicks. It was super, super simple because they were with Fidelity and I was moving it to a Fidelity rollover IRA. But you can do rollover IRAs with anything. So anything you have, any retirement app that you have, whether it's Charles Schwab or Fidelity or whatever, should allow you to invest in Bitcoin. Just make sure it'll let you buy FBTC, the Fidelity Bitcoin ETF. There are a couple that don't. For example, Vanguard. The last I checked, Vanguard does not allow you to invest in any digital assets of any kind. They just categorically disagree with the thesis of digital assets. So Vanguard historically has not allowed you to invest in Bitcoin, but the new CEO of Vanguard was the person who rolled out the Bitcoin ETF for BlackRock. So people anticipate that Vanguard may come around and allow you to invest in Bitcoin at some point because the person who now runs Vanguard is a Bitcoiner that came over from BlackRock. And he ran a lot of their exchange traded funds, ETF business stuff at BlackRock before he was hired by Vanguard. So anyway, just make sure you're either using Fidelity or BlackRock or Charles Schwab or some investment platform that will allow you to buy the Bitcoin ETFs. Fidelity is the one I use, and that's the easiest and probably most Bitcoin friendly of the platforms. But anyway, again, bottom line is almost any retirement account can be invested in Bitcoin as long as it's not your current employer. As long as it's a past employer, you can do a rollover IRA. If you have an old IRA, you can invest that also in Bitcoin. If you have a Roth IRA, you can also invest that in Bitcoin. Now, I personally have not tried to invest a Roth IRA in Bitcoin. When I was trying to get a Roth IRA, there was some reason I was not qualified to have one. I can't remember what it was. There was one of the eligibility criteria for a Roth IRA I did not meet, and I can't remember why that was. But anyway, so I have never had a Roth IRA because I've never been eligible in the past for a Roth IRA, although I'm a huge fan of Roth IRAs. But if you have an IRA, if you have a Roth IRA, if you have a 401k, if you have a 403b, you can almost certainly invest in Bitcoin via one of the Bitcoin ETFs, exchange traded funds. Again, my preference is SBTC, but they're all the same. They all do exactly the same thing. So if you feel better about BlackRock, do IBIT, which is the BlackRock Bitcoin ETF. If you like Fidelity like I do, just because they've got more hardcore Bitcoiners at Fidelity than SBTC. But again, the products are identical. They are literally exactly the same. It's just which company is behind it. Anyway, so I'm a huge fan of retirement accounts in Bitcoin. The easiest way to do that, to recap, the easiest way to do that is with the Bitcoin ETFs. And the way that you make that possible is by rolling an IRA or a 401k or a 403b or a Roth IRA, whatever it is. With most of those, you roll it into a rollover IRA. With a Roth IRA, I don't know how that works. I don't know if a Roth IRA rolls into a rollover IRA, or if a Roth IRA somehow there's some other vehicle if you want to invest in a Roth IRA in Bitcoin. So if somebody watching or listening to this knows how to do that, please post it in the comments on Facebook about how do you invest a Roth IRA in Bitcoin. I assume it's the same as an IRA, but I don't know because I have not done that. I have rolled a 401k into a rollover IRA and then invested it in Bitcoin. I have rolled a traditional IRA into a rollover IRA into Bitcoin. I've personally done both of those two things. I have just not done it with a Roth IRA. So I just don't know on the Roth IRA front, but I presume it works the same way. And I know it's possible. Lots of people have told me they've done it. I just have not done it personally, so I don't know exactly what that process is. But huge fan of retirement accounts in Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin in retirement accounts will outperform anything else you could possibly put in a retirement account. And I think the probability that Bitcoin takes over the world is so high that in my case, I've got virtually 100% of my assets in Bitcoin. But for most people, I would say, again, Fidelity by default allows up to 20%. And I would say for most people, if your risk appetite is high enough, as much as 30%. But again, I'm not not a financial advisor, not accounting, legal, financial, tax. I'm not any of those advisors. This is just one random person's opinion. So consult a professional, not me. But anyway, when people ask me, how much of a retirement account should be in Bitcoin, I tell them if I were them, it would be at least 20 or 30% based on the knowledge they have, between 20% and 30%. Based on the knowledge I have, which is literally thousands of hours of studying Bitcoin, that number is like 97%. I know a lot of people are not, they have not spent thousands of hours studying Bitcoin, and therefore their conviction on Bitcoin is not, the 100 out of 100 index that mine is, and therefore they may not be ready for or comfortable with 97% exposure to Bitcoin, but I am. So if you got retirement accounts, it's worth trying to get them in Bitcoin. At least a portion of them in Bitcoin. It's worth it. So if you have any questions or need anything, let me know. I'm always here to serve. Thanks.